Hello and welcome to the City Club of Cleveland. My name is Eric Whoopser and I'm the chair of the City Club New Leaders. If you'd like to learn more about the New Leaders, please go to the City Club's website at www.cityclub.org. Today's program, Return to the Lakefront, featuring Adam Wasserman and Stan Eckstut, is a New Leaders program sponsored by the Downtown Cleveland Alliance. I had the opportunity last week to attend Mayor Jackson's Sustainable Cleveland 2019 Summit, and one of the key themes that we heard over and over again at the summit was that the public has an extremely strong desire to have better access to Lake Erie and the Cuyahoga River. And so we're going to hear today from the principals for one key component of opening up waterfront access. And we'll be hearing from the president of the Cleveland-Cuyahoga County Port Authority, Adam Wasserman, and their consultant on the relocation of their port from downtown Cleveland to East 55th Street. Adam Wasserman is president and CEO of the Cleveland-Cuyahoga County Port Authority. Since taking that position in 2007, he has focused his efforts on expanding trade and commerce in the Northeast Ohio region. Adam has lived in Yorkshire, England, where in 2004 he was the CEO of Hull Urban Regeneration. This privately managed urban regeneration company was established by British central government to stimulate investment in the port city of Hull and its surrounding district through economic growth, development, and the creation of public infrastructure. Previously, Wasserman served as executive director of Virginia's Arlington Economic Development, where he directed overall business development strategy, real estate development, and tourism. He is a member of the Urban Land Institute, International Downtown Association, National Association of Industrial and Office Properties, and International Economic Development Council. He earned graduate and undergraduate degrees from Arizona State University and a certificate in international trade from Loyola College. Adam?
Thank you, Eric. Good afternoon, everyone. First, thanks to the Downtown Cleveland Alliance for making this event happen, to Joe and to Josh and to others. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak about the work that is going on to plan our downtown and the waterfront in particular. The Downtown Alliance, the Downtown Cleveland Alliance, is an extraordinary partner to the Port Authority, and we value that, and we have lots of work to do in the future. So we hope that proceeds well. Before I begin, I'll recognize a couple of our Port Authority board members. John Carney will wave, and Mark Krantz is also in the audience as well. And a couple of dignitaries, elected officials. I think we have one or two mayors here. We have Mayor Posick from Bedford, and Mayor Rothschild, there she is, from University Heights, is in the back. A little bit more on, let me offer you a couple more introductions. You're going to hear from Stan Eckstut in a moment. He's the meat. I'm just offering a bit of context for the conversation. Stan will be introduced, but I want to make sure that there's others on the team, and Stan will probably point them out. But we have Stan here, who will follow me. Stan Eckstut from EEK Architecture. We have Jill Akins from Van Auken Akins Architects. It's our local architect on the team, this world-class team we've been able to put together. We have Alex Boone, who's also a member of our team, who is president and CEO of GAP Communications here in Cleveland. And GAP is assisting the community engagement efforts and the public relations work to engage the community and tell the story. Okay. The downtown waterfront, the development of our world-class waterfront that's going to have culture and recreation and entertainment and take us to the waterfront in downtown Cleveland like we've never had the opportunity to do before, starts with the maritime story, we would say. This is kind of my offer to you in terms of the context. There's a maritime asset in the way right now. It's the port that's been there for a couple hundred years, one way or another. And so what I'd like to do is take a couple of minutes and talk you through the issues that the Port Authority faces to get Stan's vision, or our community's vision, to come to life. Means we need to move our port. And that would involve the relocation of our port and the construction of a new port. And that's not easy to do. We hope that spurs industrial redevelopment around the new port. That would lead to lakefront amenities like we've hopefully never seen before, even in the vicinity of the new port. Marinas, access to the water for a wide swath of the public that doesn't have access to that waterfront today. And we crown that off with the jewel, which is the urban waterfront in the middle of our region. And if we can pull all of that off, when people talk about transformation of a community or a region, that's pretty significant. And it's not a project. It's an entire waterfront. We think it's an economic development strategy. It's a recreation strategy, access to the waterfront. A couple of facts, and here's some givens. When the Port Authority started to think about this work several years ago, the city of Cleveland, previous to that, 5 or 6 years ago, had said, let's take a look at our waterfront, the now famous, world famous, the famous waterfront plan, suggested that the Port Authority move its operations. And it picked a location, and it said, move. And the Port Authority, trying to be a good neighbor, a good partner in the community, said, we will do that, we will try. So the city said, move the international dock somewhere else so we can actually have access to the waterfront. That's why we're here today. A lot has happened since that time several years ago, because this is now becoming real. So that's one fact. The city said, try to move. Second fact is Congress mandates the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to dredge the federal navigation channel, the ship channel in the lake and up the river, 6 miles up our river, to the end of the navigation point, which is where the steel mill is, ArcelorMittal. So the Corps of Engineers has a mandate to dredge that ship channel twice a year to what they call a seaway draft. So it's 28.5 feet of water so that ocean-going vessels can get through the locks out to the ocean and go to Europe, and that's what the congressional mandate says. So they dig up a lot of mud because our river and our lake from the river flow silts up to a large extent. Third fact is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is running out of capacity because when they dig that mud up, enough mud to fill up Cleveland Browns Stadium every year, it's got to go somewhere. So, if you will, the property that the Port Authority sits on today, Burke Lakefront Airport, and other assets along our lakefront are created land. And that land, that dredge material goes somewhere, and the Corps of Engineers plans to build 200 acres of land on our waterfront somewhere over the next 20 years. That's a given. Unless the congressional mandate changes, unless the community decides it wishes to close its ship channel down and Congress accepts that, that will occur. If that does occur, there would be no more steel. That's steel making. There's no more steel coming in from other sources. There's no more industry and manufacturing that accepts that steel. The core of that economic base is 11,000 jobs that are directly dependent on that steel. And so that's the loss if we choose not to accept it. Right now, that's not in the community's conversation at all. So with the Corps of Engineers needing to build that 200 acres of land over the next 20 years, they've costed a project out. They've taken a look at sites. They've taken a look at sites that could work as a dredge disposal site, but also sites that might work as a joint use with the port. They build the land, we end up using that. The cost of that dredge disposal project is $300 million. It has nothing to do with the port, simply building the dredge disposal facility. So the price to keep the ship channel open is $300 million over 20 years. They want to fill the dike disposal site 1/20th because they want 20 years of capacity. Federal government blesses us with a formula. They say, well, it's a $300 million project, but the local share is $135 million. So we as a community have to come up with $135 million to support the Corps of Engineers disposal site. So why are we here today? Well, the Port Authority thought if we can match those projects up and use that dredge disposal site as a new port,